Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. There we go. As you can see, the Overflow room is still under a little bit of construction from the recent flood, but don't worry about it. We're all going to be fine. The CD survived intact and mold-free. So, we're working on Mahler, and we've got some interesting song cycle-y things here. We've got Das Knaben Wunderhorn with Janet Baker and Sir Geraint Evans with the Symphonica of London, conducted by Win Morris. This was released on IMP, Pickwick or something. I don't know, IMP. They're very, very fine performances. Of course, the singing is terrific. Morris is a little bit erratic, and the sonics were always kind of iffy. There's like some distortion at the top end when the voices are pushing and things like that. But the performances themselves are really excellent. And you also get the Songs of a Wayfarer with Roland Herman and Win Morris and the London Phil. So that's fun. I doubt it's available anymore. Maybe it's in some box or something. Maybe Brilliant Classics licensed it or something. Who the hell knows? They might have licensed this one, too. This is the Das Knaben Wunderhorn with Maureen Forrester and Heinz Rehfuss with the orchestra of the Vienna Festival under Felix Prohaska on Vanguard. Well, this was nice to have. I mean, Maureen Forrester was a first-class Mahler singer. Heinz Rehfuss is quite good as well. The orchestra is nothing special, and Prohaska is only okay. He's just adequate. And the sonics are, good. I would say decent. There's like no bass. There's, they could be better. Let's put it that way. But for the singers, it's worth having. It's certainly worth hearing. People of my era and older are kind of sentimentally attached to this recording because there weren't many around. I mean, there was Bernstein, which was the gold standard, and then this, and the Win Morris we just talked about showed up at some point, but Das Knaben Wunderhorn complete sets were very rare. Now, of course, there are billions of them, so this is less urgent than what it was, aside from the singers, particularly Forrester, who's a wonderful singer. Then we've got Das Klagende and the Adagio from Symphony No. 10. This is the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra, under Bernard Haitink. The revised two-part version of Das Klagende Lied, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, beautifully sung. It was gorgeously recorded when Phillips knew how to put bass into things finally, and it really, really sounds great. And the Adagio from the 10th is beautiful, too. It's a wonderful disc on Australian Eloquence, a terrific reissue. I remember getting Das Klagende Lied when it came out on Phillips originally. It had like a green cover, if I'm not mistaken. There was a lot of greenness in it. And thinking, oh, wow, what an interesting piece. It sounds just like Mahler. It really does. From the very beginning, Mahler was Mahler. It's really amazing. He was like 20 when he wrote it. Then we've got Das Lied von der Erde, Christa Ludwig, Renee Kahlo, the Israel Phil, Leonard Bernstein. Great singing, dry as dust sonics. It was always an issue. This competed with the Decca recording with the Vienna Phil, with James King and Fischer Dieskau, which is sort of the Bernstein Das Lied von der Erde of choice. But Christa Ludwig is on the video that Bernstein made of this, where she's having a nervous breakdown during of beauty, during the Das Rolls. Wie heißt die Newstern? It ends with Newstern. You don't hear any of the words in the middle. And it's wonderful. She says, I can't do it. It's too fast. Or it's this or whatnot. And Bernstein says, no one's going to hear you anyway. It's impossible. Just wing it. And they do. It's a very good performance. It really is. But the sound is just so unalluring. This is hot. This is the Japanese RCA Levine Philadelphia Mahler Ninth. One of the absolute great Mahler Ninths. It's fantastic. And it was the first to have a finale that's like half an hour long, 29 minutes and 51 seconds. Whoa! I mean, it's a big, contrasty, grand performance with razor-sharp rhythms and gorgeous orchestral playing, and it's well recorded. It's just really terrific. It doesn't get a lot of attention anymore. It didn't get a lot of attention when it came out, and it should have. It is stupendous. Absolutely marvelous, a wonderful performance. It really is. Put it that way. Then we've got here Oh, more Das Klagende Lied, Kindertotenlieder, Songs of a Wayfarer, Rückertlieder with Brigitte Fassbender and the Deutsche Symphony Orchestra Berlin and Chailly. Well, let us see here. You also have a couple songs from Das Knaben Wunderhorn. So it's like all the major song cycles. Fassbender was a wonderful Kunst diva. Her voice always had a bit of a wobble to it. It was an interesting voice more than a gorgeous voice, but she used it most artfully. And the Das Klagende Lied is the 3-part version, and it's wonderful. This was part of that series of big choral works that Chailly did in Berlin. He did the Gurrlieder around the same time, and they're absolutely first-rate performances, and they still sound terrific. So that is a twofer that was really worth having. Das Lied von der Erde with Peter Schreier, Birgit Finele, and the Berlin Symphony Orchestra under Kurt Sanderling. We've talked about Sanderling's Mahler. I mean, he did Das Lied, the 9th and the 10th for Berlin Classics, the Cook version of the 10th with some of his own modifications. Wonderful performances all. And they were boxed up in a 3-disc set, which we've reviewed and done on video. I have them upstairs. This is the individual version of Das Lied. So it's a spare. It's always good to have a spare. Dagmar Peckova doing Songs of a Wayfarer, Kindertotenlieder. The Adagietto from Symphony No. 5. Well, she's not singing that, obviously. And the Rückertlieder with the Prague Chamber Phil under Jiří Bělohlavek. Peckova is a great singer, a terrific singer. She's looking really, really like seriously spooky there. It's a good picture, actually. The performances are lovely. Bělohlavek is not the most, what's the word? Emotionally giving conductor. He's sort of I always said he's a gentle soul. He conducts well and nicely, but without a lot of grit. Like the finale of the last song of the Kindertotenlieder, or the third song of Songs of a Wayfarer. But when you're singing, he's accompanying, and he does it very effectively. And Peckova is terrific to hear. It's super fun. So that's nifty. Then we've got, boys, mostly songs, aren't they? Songs and choral works, and yeah, wow, that's a cool pile of stuff. Das Knaben Wunderhorn, Schwarzkopf, Fischer Dieskau, London Symphony, Szell. Well, this is worth it for the London Symphony and Szell. They're conducting. The singing, ugh. I mean, some people swore by this. I just think the two of them are insufferable. They're little cutesy poo playing around with the every single word, in Schwarzkopf particularly. I mean, the mannerisms of the I like a bissel nasche, wollen wir. Oh, God, you want to just slap her. It was like my grandmother and her sisters. She had 7 of them, actually. And when I was a kid, I'll tell you what this reminds me of. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. When I was a kid, a little kid, we used to go to my grandmother's house in Danbury, Connecticut. It's a beautiful house on top of a hill, 147.5 Cohanza Street. I remember it like it was yesterday. And she had a utility room that was the preface to the house itself. So us little kids would have to be clean before we dared to set foot in the inner sanctum. And when we had these holidays, she would come, and her sisters would be my Aunt Dutchie and Aunt Flossie, and they were all there. They were all there. Aunt Sarah was there. And, they were all 175. And they would make us take a bath in the utility sink. It's a giant utility sink, like a laundry sink. And they would strip us down, me and my brother and my cousins, Brucey and Greggy, and they'd toss us all in the sink. And then all these old women would come up and go, "Oh, Shana Kepala," screaming at us in Yiddish and grabbing our cheeks and doing all this stuff where we were naked. I was 2 or 3 years old when this happened, but I was not too young not to be mortified. I understood that this was the ultimate humiliation in the entire universe, and it was just that there was something, I don't know even how to describe it. Well, these are mortifying in that way. If you have ever been naked in a utility sink, having a lot of little old Jewish ladies grab your cheek and tell you have a Shana Kepala, a pretty little head, then that's what this sounds like. Ugh. Then, okay, Mahler 5 with the Finnish Radio Symphony Orchestra under Jukka-Pekka Saraste, and the Songs of a Wayfarer and Des Knaben Wunderhorn. Now, the reason I kept this stuff, the 5th is completely uninteresting. It's a decent subscription day average performance with no special insights whatsoever. But but the songs, Des Knaben Wunderhorn is with Anne Marie and Thomas Allen, conducted by Mackerras and the London Phil. It's fabulous. It's one of the great Des Knaben Wunderhorns. And the Songs of a Wayfarer are also wonderful with Thomas Allen, the Royal Phil, and Andrew Litton. So disc 2 of this Virgin twofer is definitely worth hearing. Disc 1 with the 5th it's a bonus. These were 2 for the price of 1 anyway. So yeah, for the songs, it's the songs, my friends. And we've got many more to come. So keep on listening. Take care.